There is a specific sound your body learned to fear, long before your brain could even process why. It might be the sound of the car engine in the garage, a heavy footstep in the hallway, or the most classic of all, the turn of a key in the lock. In that split second, the air inside your home changes. The atmosphere, which might have been light or neutral, suddenly becomes thick, electric, and dangerous. Your muscles tense up. Your stomach ties in knots. Your children, if you have them, instinctively stop playing and lower their voices. It's not just someone coming home. It's an entity, occupying the space. Have you ever wondered why your home, which should be your sanctuary, your place of rest and safety, feels much more like a minefield or a courtroom in perpetual session? The answer isn't just in the bad mood of the person you live with. The answer is much deeper and structural. You aren't living in a shared house. You are living inside a temple dedicated to a single deity, the narcissist's ego. And in this video, we are going to dismantle, brick by brick, the structure of this narcissist's altar. We're going to understand why you feel like you need permission to exist inside your own living room, why rest is forbidden, and how this spiritual dynamic of forced worship is draining your vitality. If you feel like you're walking on eggshells on your own living room rug, stay right here. What we're going to understand today will change the way you see the four walls around you. My name is Lauren Mitchell. My purpose with this channel is to show you that the problem was never you, and more importantly, that you are not alone. Maybe you've looked for explanations for a long time, and nothing made sense. My ebook is the first resource that truly guides you with clarity and care through everything you've experienced. It is comprehensive, compassionate, and unique, designed to heal wounds that no one else ever saw in you. Access my ebook and check out the channel member benefits through the link in the description of this video. Let's start by validating the raw reality of your daily life. In a healthy relationship, a home is a democratic space. Emotions fluctuate, of course, but the environment itself is neutral. If a partner comes home stressed, they communicate it, deal with it, or ask for space. Their stress belongs to them. In a narcissistic dynamic that doesn't exist, the house is a direct extension of the narcissist's psyche. If they are angry, the walls vibrate with anger. If they are euphoric, the whole house is expected to celebrate. If they are depressed or playing the victim, there must be a deathly silence. You live under an emotional tyranny where the mood of the environment is dictated exclusively by one person. Notice how objects hold more value than people. The narcissist often treats organization, cleaning, or the layout of furniture with religious fervor. A glass out of place isn't just a glass out of place. It is interpreted by them as a personal affront, a sign of disrespect toward their temple. Or, on the opposite extreme, they turn the house into a pigsty, occupying every inch with their mess, and you are forbidden from touching, cleaning, or organizing it, because that would be invading their space. In both cases, the message is the same. This territory belongs to them. You are just a tolerated guest, as long as you serve a purpose. That constant feeling that you are imposing inside your own home isn't paranoia. It's the result of systematic conditioning. You were trained to become invisible, so as not to disturb the order of the altar. Yet at the same time, you must be omnipresent to keep the altar clean and functional. It's an exhausting paradox that consumes your life force before the day even begins. Deepening our analysis, we enter the first psychological pillar, the architecture of tension. The narcissist uses the sensory atmosphere of the home as a tool for domination. Think about the concept of occupying space. The narcissist occupies space not just physically, but sonically and emotionally. Many victims report that the narcissist has the right to noise. They can watch TV at max volume, slam doors, talk loudly on the phone, or stomp around. Their sound is the sacred music of this temple. They need to be heard. Their presence needs to be noticed in every room. However, just try making noise yourself. If you drop a piece of silverware, if you laugh loudly on the phone with a friend, if the children cry, the reaction is disproportionate. Your noise is treated as a profanation. Don't you have any respect? I'm trying to think. What is all this racket? This creates a brutal asymmetry. They have the right to expand. You have the duty to contract. And there is the flip side of that coin, the silent treatment. When the narcissist decides the worship wasn't satisfactory, they withdraw their presence through silence. But it isn't a peaceful silence. It's a heavy, aggressive silence. They walk past you as if you're a ghost. They eat while staring at the wall. In that moment, the house turns into a psychological torture chamber. They are forcing you to pray for their attention, to beg for a crumb of recognition. The atmosphere of the house stays suspended, as if the oxygen has been sucked out, and it will only return to normal when they decide you've suffered enough to deserve the grace of their words again. This isn't living together. This is environmental control. They regulate the home's emotional thermostat to keep you in a constant state of high alert, ensuring your focus is 100% on them. The second pillar supporting this altar is what we'll call the liturgy of invisible service. In any religion, there are rites. In a relationship with a narcissist, the main rite is divination. The narcissist operates under the delusional belief that if you truly loved them, you would be omniscient. You should have known they wanted coffee, not tea. You should have known they had a bad day and didn't want to talk, or that they had a win and wanted to be applauded, without them having to say a single word. When you fail to read their mind, which is inevitable, as you are human and not a psychic, they don't react like someone who was misunderstood. They react like a god who is poorly served by an incompetent follower. You never pay attention. You only think about yourself. Do I have to spell everything out for you? These phrases are projective. In reality, they are the ones, only thinking about themselves. But at the narcissist's altar, your job is to be the guardian of their needs. You become a preventative crisis manager. You start watching for microsignals, the way they drop their keys on the table, a heavier sigh, a sidelong glance. You adjust your behavior, the dinner, the kids, the lighting in the room, everything based on these micro-signals, in the desperate hope of avoiding the deity's wrath. This is exhausting because it's a job that never ends and is never recognized. If you get it right and avoid the explosion, you get no thanks, because you were just doing your job. If you get it wrong, you are punished. The narcissist needs this service not just for physical comfort, but for the narcissistic supply it generates. Seeing you scurrying around, worried, anxious to please, validates their superiority. Your effort is the offering they consume, to inflate their own ego. They feel powerful seeing how much you exhaust yourself for them. We now come to the deepest and most painful pillar, the sacrifice of identity. For an altar to be sacred, it must be exclusive. You cannot worship two gods in the same temple. Therefore, for the narcissist's ego to reign absolute in the house, yourself must be annihilated. You notice this when your basic needs are treated as inconveniences. If you get sick, the dynamic in the house shifts for the worse. Instead of care, you receive impatience, coldness, or even accusations that you are faking it or disrupting the routine. How dare the priest you need care when they should be caring for the god? Your illness diverts attention from the altar, and that is unacceptable to the narcissist. If you have a hobby, an interest, or a moment of joy that doesn't involve them, they will do something to sabotage it. They will pick a fight before you leave, call you incessantly while you're out, or belittle your achievement when you get back. The house begins to lose your touch. Your preferences for decor, food, or TV shows are subtly, or aggressively, replaced by theirs. Or else, your space is confined to insignificant corners, while their presence spreads over everything. The ultimate goal of this spiritual manipulation is to make you believe that your existence only has value to the extent that it serves them. Your individuality is seen as a threat to their supremacy. You start feeling like a hollow shell inside your own home. You look in the mirror and don't recognize the person there, because that person has spent the last few years being molded to be a reflection of someone else's needs. You have been consumed by the altar. Escaping this dynamic requires more than just a physical change of address. It requires an internal shift in theology. You need to commit the heresy of stopping the worship. Understand this. The narcissist is not a god, nor a supreme judge, nor the ultimate authority of your life. They are a deeply disordered person, a wounded child in an adult's body who built a cardboard stage and forced you to act in it. The house is not a temple. Their anger is not a divine lightning bolt. It is just emotional dysregulation. Their silence is not a sacred punishment. It is immaturity and cheap manipulation. The turning point happens when you stop looking at the altar with fear and start looking at it with clinical curiosity and detachment. When they scowl, instead of thinking, "What did I do wrong?" you will think, "There they go, acting out their ritual again." Reclaim your internal sanctuary first. Create a mental space where they cannot enter, where their opinion counts for nothing, where their mood doesn't change your internal weather. You were not born to be an offering. You were not born to be a supporting character in the house of your own life. It is time to dethrone this false deity. Stop feeding the altar and start rebuilding your own temple, where the only sacred rule is your well-being and your peace. You have the key. And now, you know exactly what to do with it. Feel free to leave your story, your vent, or even a suggestion for the next video's theme in the comments below. Access the link in the description. To check out my ebook and the benefits for members of this channel, click on the suggested video on the screen to stay with me and remember, you are light. Never forget to shine.